I gotta get the right sheet. We're gonna call this meeting to order of the city of Prescott. And we'll wait for a second here. You got enough seats?
I think so. I bet they'll stand too.
Yeah. You want to come in? There's more seats up there, and there's more chairs on the end.
Wow, lots of family.
Well, they had it on the internet for
Yeah.
the whole town to show
Yeah.
too.
It's very nice.
Are you set there with your? Okay. Then we'll have a roll call. Maureen,
Here.
Adam,
Here.
Dar,
Here.
Ben,
Here.
and Lindsay.
Here.
Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our next item is the public comments. The City Council will take public comments on any issue related to the agenda items. Limited discussion will be by the City Council may take place. Not hearing any, we'll go to the proclamation. I'm going to throw this one. For the City of Prescott, the proclamation of June 18th, Bryson Silly Goose McGrath Day. Whereas Bryson Scott McGrath, affectionately known as Goose or Goosey, was a beloved 5-year-old member of the City of Prescott community, whose life, though brief, left a profound and lasting impact on his family, friends, and all that knew him. And whereas Bryson courageously battled childhood cancer for 1,027 days, demonstrating extraordinary strength, resilience, and spirit throughout his illness. And whereas Bryson loved life deeply and found joy in simple moments, including visiting playgrounds throughout Prescott, watching trains pass along the river, going to the beach and swimming, enjoying ice cream, donuts, spaghetti, and steak quesadillas from Taco Bell, and never being far from his large, cold, sippy cup of white milk. And whereas Bryson's love of music, dance, storytelling, imagination, and silliness brought comfort, laughter, and connection to all around him, even during the most difficult of times. And whereas Bryson's story touched not only who knew him personally, but many others who were inspired by his courage, love, perseverance, and in the face of childhood cancer. Whereas Bryson's life served a reminder of profound impact one child can have on a community, and enduring power of love, joy, kindness, compassion, and resilience. And whereas recognizing June 18th, Bryson's birthday, as Bryson's Silly Goose Day, will provide an annual opportunity for the community to honor Bryson's memory by embracing joy, kindness, silliness, and while raising awareness to support children and families affected by childhood cancer. Now, therefore, I, Michael H. Gerke, Mayor of the City of Prescott, do hereby proclaim June 18th as Bryson's Silly Goose Day in the City of Prescott, Wisconsin, and encourage all residents to honor Bryson's memory through acts of kindness, compassion, laughter, community support, and by celebrating the life of joyful of silly ways of Bryson loved most. In witness, therefore, I have set my hand on a cause of a seal of the city of Prescott, Wisconsin, to affix this 8th day of June 2026.
Should we do some pictures?
Well, that's what I'm going to give them also this too. This is a copy for you at home of the proclamation.
Thank you, everyone, and we realize you don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting. Really exciting is watching your family be together and continue to grieve and continue to just know that as a community, we're behind you. Thank you. We stand behind your family. You're in our thoughts and prayers, and I'm amazed at the amount of strength you all have and your family and friends as well. So you're appreciated, and I'm grateful that you came here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Just going to thin out just a little bit. Yeah, I can. With 6 kids and 9 grandkids, I couldn't imagine losing one.
Unimaginable.
I've lost enough cousins already in breast cancer. And daughter, our sister-in-law, that's in the same boat now. She's only 64.
I could not find this form on the website.
All right, I guess we'll continue now. We got the consent agenda. The Personnel Committee meetings for May 6, 2026. Health and Safety Committee meetings, May 11th. City Council minutes for May 11th. Fire and EMS Commission minutes for May 20th. City Council Workshop minutes, May 27th. Police Commission minutes, May 28th. Planning Commission minutes, June 1. General funding balance for May of 2026. Cash balances for May 2026. Paid invoice report for May 2026. Special events permit, June 27th, 2026 at 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. for the house or baby shower at Freedom Park. Special event permit, July 24th, 2026, 5:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. for summer party on 331 Lake Street. Approval of the Mississippi Valley Archaeological Center Archaeological Literature Review for the Well 4 Treatment Project, and it will cost us $350. Approval of closure of the City of Prescott K-9 Fund and donation of funds to the Prescott K-9 Project in the amounts of $9,316.89. Notice of nomination of Luke Peterson to the Cable Advisory Committee.
Motion to approve the consent agenda, numbers 1 through 15.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Seeing none, we'll go to the reports to the standing committees of commission. Finance Committee has none. Planning Commission report for Monday, June 1st. Now let's see where did I put that. Did I hit the right page? There it is. The Planning Commission had a public hearing on a comprehensive plan. Nobody really was here, so that was quick. And they had an assisted living, had a preliminary plan for 445 Court Street. They have just a portion of the final site plan, and that was pretty much it. Or do you got more, Matt?
And then the other thing, we just at Planning Commission, we reviewed a table regarding conditional use permits to go over that. And we did have 3 changes that were recommended in there. I don't remember what they are, but we'll be reviewing those at the next Planning Commission. And then since they are part of the zoning chapter 635, they do require a public hearing before any of that could change. So that approval to hold a public hearing we brought before council probably in July if Planning Commission approves those changes.
Okay. The next meeting is Wednesday, July 8th at 6 o'clock. Parks and Public Works Committee report for Monday, May 18th. Lindsay?
Matthew, that was really long ago. I don't remember. I fear.
That's
My
why I
phone's
wrote
off.
notes.
Hold on.
That's why I wrote notes.
I know. I totally forgot that we didn't meet the next
Yeah, only
Monday
was a week
after.
ago.
When I turn my phone on, I can tell you.
I'll see if I can find it quick.
I can take it, apologize, took me a second to pull it up. So for the Parks and Public Works Committee meeting for May 20th, we discussed the non-motorized boat launch and the repair and maintenance items. Back in 2024, we actually got a quote from Lou Busker Masonry to do the work. Unfortunately, or at the time, we were requested to get a second quote and try to find somebody who would do that kind of work with the stone and the historical facade that's down there with the steps and things. But those that we reached out to unfortunately weren't interested in doing the work or never provided a quote. So it kind of went on the back burner then when we had stuff at Freedom Park and the McGee Park that we were working on. So we discussed that, and we're going back to Luke Busker Masonry to get an updated quote for that repair. And then also the discussion was looking into putting in a ramp for people who are going to use it for kayaking, so they don't have to traverse the stairs, that they would have an easier access to and from the water. And then City Planner Luke Weiss reviewed the McGee Park sign layout, discussed that, and that was overall reviewed, and we'll move forward with ordering those signs on that. And then we discussed a transportation resolution from the League of Wisconsin Municipalities, which will be brought before you. We just have to update it and revise it, and then that will be brought for you in the second meeting in June.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
Our next meeting is June 15th at 5 o'clock.
I'd like to say congratulations on the Cooley Trails. It was real. I took a walk down there, got lost because I couldn't find the cemetery to get back out. Took me another half an hour
Well,
to
don't feel
find
too
my way out.
Don't feel too bad. I actually had to kind of look a little bit too.
Good.
And I usually do quite good in the woods.
That would have made the news, Maureen.
Yeah.
But it was fun and I liked it.
Yeah, I took my family down there and the kids loved it. So
Yeah.
beautiful. It's
There
done
is
very
a
well.
couple different ones that are just kind of like notched out by nature, and it kind of looks like you should be going that way.
Yeah.
Next one, health and safety meeting is Monday, July 13th at 5 o'clock. Personnel, next meeting is still to be determined. Any ideas?
I think it'll be based on once the Public Works Director position closes, and then determining what the best availability for time. I would imagine they're gonna correspond, because also at the same time, Personnel Committee is gonna meet to be doing my review as well, so probably towards mid and end July, there'll be a couple personnel committees. I'll reach out to Alderperson Otwell once we get closer to determine the dates of when you prefer to meet, and then we'll coordinate with Dar and Adam as well.
Okay.
Okay, public comments. The city council will receive public comments on any issue not related to agenda items. Limited discussion by the city council may take place. However, no action will be taken on any item. This includes receiving written requests, documentation, and possible action at a future meeting. The first one is considered ordinance of 0426, an ordinance adopting the City of Prescott Comprehensive Plan for 2026 through 2046.
Motion to adopt the City of Prescott Comprehensive Plan for 2026-2046.
I'll second that motion.
We got a first and a second. Is there any discussion on the matter?
Yes, I
Go ahead.
have some. I read through it, and I really want to know how many cloned staff you're going to need to do anything that's in from now through 6 months to a year, or 6 months to a year. There's a lot on your plate for just this coming period of time. So I think it's well done. I enjoyed it. I read through most of it. I got a little tired at the end, but I did.
So you took a walk at McGee Park?
Cooley.
Or Cooley Park?
It's quite
Cooley Park.
comprehensive. Yes.
Quite comprehensive. And I noticed a shift this year in the, it's a minor shift in direction that I think is really interesting. And it's about the shift to agricultural land and preservation of agricultural land, and the discussion about moving towards market farm type agriculture in line with the farm to table movement, and whether we have any agricultural land in the city other than Borner Farm that would be appropriate for that, or are we going to buy land? I mean, was there any discussion of that during the planning sessions?
I think the goal for the planning sessions was to support that, not necessarily go out and try to use city resources to make that happen, but if there are people who come forward and would like to do something like that, that we would look to find opportunities, whether it be via ordinance or resolutions, or if there's financial assistance, make that kind of
Yeah.
on a case-by-case basis as it comes
Well,
forward.
we already have one at Borner Park, and there was a lot of opposition occasionally to Borner Park, Borner Farm, and I wonder if we should look at ordinances that might support their effort, rather than taking it on it seemed like in the past it's come in on as somebody gets upset, then we deal with it issue. And I just, because when you have farms near residential areas, there's more critters, because there's just a mixture that's going on there. And that was primarily some of the complaints came in about critters, rats and
Mats, mice and whatnot.
mice, yeah. And I would like to support them because we haven't, it's the last piece of really farming in the city, I think, that I can think of.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
And I also like the new emphasis on community gardens. And maybe we should think about, when we're setting aside parkland, whether there would be a community garden that would support. There's one right now in the corner near Warner Park, but the guy still owns the property, but he has a great garden. He has for years.
Yeah.
Well, they do have one over at the, what do you call it? Food bank, pantry.
Oh, that's right, they were gonna put one
They
in
do
there.
have,
Yeah.
it looks good shape now, it's
Oh, I'll have
hopefully
to go over
it's
and-
kept up.
Take a look at it. But, and then there was, like, even edible planters. I thought that was really interesting as well. You know, like, we did grow herbs and little tomatoes, the bush tomatoes outside in these planters one year anyway. That was interesting. So I just thought that was an interesting, different emphasis that we hadn't tackled in the past. So anyway, I really thought it was quite comprehensive and quite well done. Thanks.
Okay, so we got all that, so let's, any other comments, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. Thank you. Resolution 2726, approval of the change order number 2 for the McGee Park Improvement Project. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor. So
You can describe it.
McGee Park project is wrapping up, and as part of that, late last year, while we were installing the laterals, so the project includes a water and sewer lateral that runs from Dexter Street to the interior of the parking lot, with the idea that at some point in time, if and when there's financial availability of funds within either the Park Dedication Fund or Park Improvement Fund or elsewise for grants, that we put a permanent bathroom there, similar to what we have at the beach or Jake's Park down by the boat launch. But while we were doing that, there were some storm utilities that were, unfortunately, we found that were in the way, so ultimately we had to remove some of those temporarily so we could get the water and sewer underneath them and at the proper depth. So as a result, that required a change order of $6,126.48. This would increase the overall project costs and the contract costs from the original amount from $509,569. And just to make a note, that does include the first change order, which was running water utility of, I think it was 8 inches to the other side of the parking lot, so we could eventually loop all of Pine Ridge in Great Rivers in the future. And then this would be the second change order to, that would be applied to split equally between the water and sewer utility fund. If this is approved, then we'll be closing out the project and making last payment to Total Excavating. We did receive a grant as part of this project through the State of Wisconsin DNR Knowles Nelson Stewardship Program. So once the project is closed out, we'll make a submission for our last payment or reimbursement of the grant for $140,181.25. So with that, I'll turn it over to council for comments or questions.
My only question is, would that grant come back, is that just pay off our loan that we had for it?
So we used our capital fund to pay for it, so any funds that we would receive back would go into that capital fund.
Okay.
With the idea that they'd go to future projects like the 2027 mill and overlay and the Fairy Wonderland Park project that we have planned in the future.
I will make a motion to approve Resolution 27-26, approving the change order number 2 for McGee Park in the amount of $6,126.48 for that improvement project plan.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion, anybody? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, it passes. Resolution 2826, adopting amendments to the City of Prescott Employee Handbook. Matt, what we got there?
Thank you, Mayor. So the Personnel Committee on May 2nd met to review 3 different updates to our employee handbook. One was compensatory time or compensation time. This was something that was an informal, or I would say a formal for Public Works, but was not formally in our employee handbook. So the decision was to recommend that this policy get adopted, placed in the handbook, and it would be for all non-exempt hourly employees. The second one was the addition of an artificial intelligence or AI use policy. that would help to make sure and ensure that we're protecting confidential and sensitive information and give some oversight on how employees use AI in the workplace. And then the third change was updating a section that included wages, performance evaluation, and compensation plan. And this basically recognizes in the procedure what is our formal process that we've been doing the last 3 or 4 years, which is informally adopting a wage scale, but moving forward and with this year's budget, we'd be formally placing that wage scale as part of approval process with the budget that would go along with it. And this would allow employees to see that and know how that process is done and utilize that process for potential increasing or seeking increases to their wages. So with that, I will turn it over to council for comments and questions.
What kind of AI applications are the city members using or the staff using? Just curious.
I can't speak for everyone, but things like ChatGPT, when we're putting together memos, we'll have assistance with reviewing them and making sure we don't have grammatical errors or structural errors. Resolutions, it's a big help with that because you can take your memo that you put together and actually put it into an AI and help you generate a resolution that then we put together and put on the things like that. So nothing too overly complicated, but also can, review other issues, complex document, getting summaries, but so basically the policy is you can use it as a tool, but make sure it's always being reviewed, and at the end of the day, you're still responsible for what's getting put in front of council or any commissions or committees. Can't blame AI for any mistakes that
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 28-26, adopting amendments to the City of Prescott Employee Handbook.
Second?
We get a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that passes. Approval of Merker Park parking lot on the overnight lot and replacement of signs. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor. So right now, we operate 3 parking lots downtown, Orange Street, Cherry Street, and the Merker Mill lot. Currently, both Orange and Cherry Street allow for overnight parking, while the Merker Mill parking lot is posted as no overnight parking. So as part of our Phase 2 project, we repaved and restriped Merker Mill parking lot, and we installed new lot signage. I believe there was one sign that was down there before that was somewhat faded, and we changed that out, and we added a couple other additional signs that indicated that overnight parking was prohibited. Since the installation of those signs, though, we have had several individuals contact the city stating they have historically parked downtown and it's never been an issue. In discussing this with Chief Michaels, the overnight parking restriction has generally not been enforced because doing so does require officers to document vehicles parked in the lot overnight and then verify they're continued to be parked there in the morning, making parking enforcement of that kind of nature very difficult, as there are many other things going on in the city or calls that will take them away. So as a result, we're looking before each night to change Merker Mill parking lot so it matches both Orange Street and Cherry Street. This still, all the parking within the city of Prescott still falls under 545-13A, which has restrictions on how long you can park within city parking lots and city streets to a maximum of 48 hours. So with that, I'll turn it over to council for comments or questions.
It really is just so somebody's not parking there for 5 days a week is really all what the law is for anyway, really.
Right. It's and it's not as if our police department's going to be out there watching cars like a hawk that are parked 40 hours. It's just the 48 hours is really there as an opportunity for if we do have issues that it gives us a piece of legislation that we can fall back on. But we've generally not had issues with Orange, Cherry, or Merker Mill parking lot being a problem.
Yeah, I've parked in that parking lot for the last 7 years, from April 15th through November 1st, every weekend, and
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the Merker Mill parking lot changing it to an overnight lot, and approval of the replacement signs.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Anybody else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that passes. Approval of moratorium of understanding to use the cost sharing between the City of Prescott and the City of Prescott Library Board. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor. So the memorandum of understanding before you tonight is between the city and the library board. And basically, this is an opportunity for us to put in running and establish ownership, operation, maintenance, repair, replacement, and cost sharing responsibilities. So recently, in the last 2 or 3 years, we've had a couple projects. The shelf replacement back in, I think, 2023, and then the parking lot this year. And just trying to establish a framework of who is responsible for what, who pays for what. So that's really what this MOU does, is it sets that up. Basically, it generally establishes that things in terms of each project in the appendix kind of breaks down what portions of the buildings are whose shared space and whose is the city hall versus who is the library. I'll address specific questions. I won't go through, I guess, the whole list of who's responsible for what, but I'll turn it over to you for comments or questions on the MOU.
I don't have any. A motion to approve the memorandum of understanding for the use and cost sharing between the City of Prescott and the Prescott Public Library.
I'll second.
We get a motion and a second. Not hearing any other comments. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Other business, there isn't any. That would bring us into a closed session. Closed session per Wisconsin State Statute 1985-1C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, and performance evaluation data for any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction and exercises responsibility. Public Works, Workers, Holman, and Kenneman.
I'll make a motion to go in closed session.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, let's roll. Maureen,
Aye.
Adam,
Aye.
Dar,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
Lindsay.
Aye.
We're in closed session.